The sun was setting on a crisp London evening, casting long shadows across the manicured lawns of Buckingham Palace. Tourists from around the world milled about, their excited chatter filling the air. But amidst the jovial atmosphere, tension was mounting. "Step back, madam. You're not authorized to be in this area," barked a royal guard, his face reddening with each word. "Excuse me," replied a composed voice, belonging to none other than Angela Bassett, the acclaimed actress. "I have a valid ticket, just like everyone else here." The guard's posture stiffened, his voice dripping with disdain. "I don't care who you think you are. Your kind doesn't belong here. This is a respectable establishment." Bassett's eyes widened, her voice steady but laced with disbelief. "My kind? I beg your pardon, but what exactly do you mean by that?" The guard sneered, taking a menacing step forward. "You know exactly what I mean. Now, move along before I have you removed." As onlookers gathered, phones raised to capture the unfolding drama, the air crackled with tension. What started as a simple misunderstanding was rapidly escalating into something far more ominous. Little did anyone know, this confrontation was about to ignite a firestorm that would shake the very foundations of one of Britain's most revered institutions. Angela Bassett, a Hollywood icon known for her powerful performances and regal bearing, had come to London as a tourist, eager to explore the rich history of the British monarchy. But on this fateful evening, she found herself at the center of a controversy that would expose the ugly underbelly of racism lurking within the hallowed halls of royalty. This is the story of how one woman's dignity in the face of blatant discrimination led to a seismic shift in one of the world's most prestigious establishments. It's a tale of courage, justice, and the power of standing up for what's right, even when facing seemingly insurmountable odds. Before we continue, tell us where you're watching from in the comment section, and if you're a lover of justice and inspirational stories, don't forget to like, comment, and hit the subscribe button for more of these gripping tales that shine a light on the ongoing struggle for equality. Angela Bassett, born on August 16, 1958, in New York City, is a force to be reckoned with in the entertainment industry. Her journey to stardom began at Yale University, where she earned a BA in African American Studies and later an MFA from the Yale School of Drama. This foundation in academia would prove invaluable in her approach to complex, powerful roles throughout her career. Bassett's breakthrough came in 1993 when she portrayed music icon Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do With It. Her electrifying performance earned her a Golden Globe Award and an Academy Award nomination. This role catapulted her into the spotlight and set the stage for a career defined by portraying strong, influential black women. Throughout the years, Bassett's talent has been recognized with numerous accolades. She has received multiple Emmy nominations, showcasing her versatility across various genres. Her portrayal of Marie Laveau in American Horror Story, Coven, and her narration work for documentaries like The Flood and Good Night Oppie have all garnered critical acclaim. In recent years, Bassett's star has continued to rise. Her role as Queen Ramonda in Black Panther and its sequel Black Panther, Wakanda Forever has brought her renewed acclaim, including another Golden Globe win and an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. In 2024, her contributions to the film industry were honored with the prestigious Academy Honorary Award. On this particular day, Bassett had come to London as a tourist, eager to explore the rich history of the British monarchy. Her visit to Buckingham Palace was meant to be a highlight of her trip, a chance to witness firsthand the grandeur and tradition of the royal residence. Buckingham Palace, the official London residence of the British monarch since 1837, stands as a symbol of the United Kingdom's constitutional monarchy. Its 775 rooms and sprawling gardens have been the backdrop for countless historical events and royal ceremonies. Visitors from around the world flock to its gates, hoping to catch a glimpse of the changing of the guard or simply to bask in its regal atmosphere. The Royal Guards, with their iconic red tunics and bearskin hats, are more than just a tourist attraction. These elite soldiers are charged with guarding the sovereign and the royal palaces. Their training is rigorous, their discipline legendary. Visitors are expected to treat them with utmost respect, maintaining a respectful distance and refraining from any behavior that might interfere with their duties. As the confrontation between Bassett and the guard escalated, her son, Slater Vance, watched in horror. The 16-year-old, usually accustomed to seeing his mother command respect wherever she went, was now witnessing her being treated with blatant disrespect. His face contorted with a mix of anger and disbelief, torn between the urge to defend his mother and the shock of seeing such behavior from an official at a royal institution. Around them, other tourists began to take notice of the unfolding drama. Phones were raised, capturing the incident on video. Murmurs of disbelief rippled through the crowd. Some visitors, recognizing the acclaimed actress, began to voice their support for her. Others, shocked by the guard's behavior, called out for someone in authority to intervene. As the tension mounted, a question hung heavy in the air. How could such a prestigious institution, one that represents the very pinnacle of British tradition and decorum, harbor individuals capable of such blatant racism? The answer to this question would shake the foundations of one of Britain's most revered institutions and spark a conversation about systemic racism that would reverberate far beyond the gates of Buckingham Palace. As the confrontation reaches its boiling point, what unseen forces might be at play behind the scenes of this centuries-old institution? The tension that had been building between Angela Bassett and the Royal Guard finally erupted into a shocking confrontation. What began as a heated argument quickly escalated into a deeply disturbing incident that would shake the very foundations of one of Britain's most revered institutions. As Bassett attempted to explain her right to be there, the guard's face contorted with rage. His voice dripping with disdain, he spat out, "I don't care who you think you are. Your kind doesn't belong here." The racial undertones were unmistakable, causing gasps from nearby tourists. Bassett, drawing on years of experience facing discrimination, maintained her composure. Her voice steady but laced with steely determination, she responded, "I have every right to be here, just like anyone else. Your behavior is unacceptable and does not represent the values of this institution." The guard, further enraged by Bassett's calm defiance, took a menacing step forward. In a moment that would soon be replayed on news channels worldwide, he deliberately spat in Bassett's face. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd. For a moment, time seemed to stand still as the gravity of what had just occurred sank in. Then, chaos erupted. Bassett, though visibly shaken, remained remarkably poised. She slowly wiped her face, her eyes never leaving the guards. "Is this how you represent the crown?" she asked, her voice carrying a quiet power that cut through the growing commotion. Nearby tourists, who had been watching the scene unfold with growing horror, began to intervene. Several pulled out their phones, capturing the incident on video. Others stepped forward, forming a protective circle around Bassett. "How dare you treat her like that?" one woman shouted at the guard. "She's Angela Bassett, for heaven's sake." "This is disgraceful," another man chimed in. "I'm reporting this immediately." As word of the incident spread, more people gathered. The crowd's mood shifted from shock to anger, with many demanding the guard's immediate removal. Some began chanting shame. Shame, while others called for security. The guard, seemingly realizing the gravity of his actions, took a step back. His face, once contorted with rage, now showed a flicker of fear as he glanced around at the hostile crowd. Amidst the chaos, Bassett's son, Slater, pushed through the crowd to reach his mother. The pain and anger in his eyes were evident as he put a protective arm around her. "Mom, are you okay?" he asked, his voice trembling with a mix of concern and fury. Bassett nodded, squeezing her son's hand reassuringly. "I'm all right, honey," she said softly. "But this isn't over." As if on cue, several official-looking individuals in suits rushed onto the scene, their faces grave. One of them, a woman with a stern expression, approached Bassett. "Ms. Bassett, I'm the head of public relations for Buckingham Palace. On behalf of the royal household, I want to express our deepest apologies for this inexcusable incident. Please, come with me. We need to address this immediately." As Bassett was led away, flanked by her son and the palace officials, the crowd's angry murmurs grew louder. The incident had been captured on dozens of phones, and social media was already exploding with outrage. The question on everyone's lips was, how will Buckingham Palace respond to this shocking breach of conduct? The world was watching, and the reputation of one of Britain's most iconic institutions hung in the balance. The aftermath of the shocking incident unfolded with dizzying speed. As Angela Bassett was escorted away by palace officials, the scene outside erupted into chaos. Other royal guards, alerted by the commotion, rushed to the area, their usual stoic demeanor replaced by looks of confusion and concern. Inside the palace, a flurry of activity ensued. High-ranking officials huddled in emergency meetings, their faces grave as they grappled with the magnitude of the situation. The head of public relations, a woman named Elizabeth Hartley, paced back and forth, her phone buzzing incessantly with calls from media outlets around the globe. "This is a PR nightmare," she muttered, running a hand through her hair. "We need to get ahead of this, and fast." As palace researchers scrambled to gather information on Angela Bassett, a junior staff member burst into the room, his face pale. "Ma'am," he addressed Hartley, his voice trembling, "you're not going to believe this." He handed her a document, and as her eyes scanned the page, they widened in disbelief. "Are you absolutely certain about this?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The staff member nodded vigorously. "We've triple-checked, ma'am. It's confirmed." Hartley took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. She strode purposefully towards the room where Bassett was waiting, flanked by her son and a palace aide. As she entered, Bassett looked up, her face a mask of calm dignity despite the ordeal she had just endured. Hartley approached her, her demeanor a mix of deference and urgency. "Miss Bassett," she began, her voice filled with a newfound respect, "I must inform you of something of great importance. Our researchers have made a remarkable discovery about your lineage." Bassett raised an eyebrow, intrigued despite herself. Hartley continued, "It appears that you are, in fact, a distant relative of the royal family. Your great-great-grandmother on your father's side was the illegitimate daughter of Prince Albert Victor, Duke of Clarence and Avondale, grandson of Queen Victoria." A hush fell over the room as the implications of this revelation sank in. Bassett's son, Slater, let out a low whistle of surprise. "So," Bassett said slowly, "you're telling me that I'm royalty?" Hartley nodded, a small smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "Indeed, Miss Bassett. You are, by blood, a member of the British royal family." The irony of the situation was not lost on anyone in the room. The guard's racist actions had not only been directed at a world-renowned actress, but at a member of the very family he had sworn to protect. Within the hour, a press conference was hastily arranged. The Lord Chamberlain, the senior officer of the royal household, stood before a sea of flashing cameras and shouting journalists. "It is with deep regret and shame that we address the reprehensible incident that occurred at Buckingham Palace today," he began, his voice grave. "The actions of the guard in question are entirely unacceptable and go against everything the royal household stands for." He went on to announce the immediate dismissal of the offending guard and a full investigation into the incident. Furthermore, he added, "We have extended our sincerest apologies to Ms. Angela Bassett, who we have discovered is, in fact, a distant member of the royal family." This revelation sent shockwaves through the assembled press corps. Questions flew thick and fast, but the Lord Chamberlain held up a hand for silence. "Ms. Bassett has shown remarkable grace and dignity in the face of this disgraceful treatment. We are committed to using this incident as a catalyst for meaningful change within our institution." As the press conference concluded, Bassett herself stepped up to the podium, her presence commanding instant respect and attention. "Today's incident," she began, her voice strong and clear, "is not just about me. It's about every person of color who has ever been made to feel unwelcome or unworthy because of the color of their skin. It's about the insidious nature of racism that can lurk even in the most prestigious of institutions." She paused, her gaze sweeping across the assembled crowd. "I accept the palace's apology, but more importantly, I challenge them and all of us to do better. to be better. This is an opportunity for real change, and I intend to be part of that change. As Bassett concluded her powerful statement, the question lingered in the air: will this incident lead to lasting change, or is it merely a reactionary response to protect the palace's image? The world watched and waited, hoping that this shocking event would indeed be the catalyst for a new era of inclusivity and respect within one of the world's oldest monarchies. As the dust settled on this unprecedented incident at Buckingham Palace, the world was left to grapple with its implications. The image of Angela Bassett, standing tall and dignified in the face of blatant racism, became a powerful symbol of resistance against discrimination. In the days and weeks that followed, the incident sparked a global conversation about systemic racism in prestigious institutions. Social media campaigns urged people to share their own experiences of discrimination, using the hashtag #SpeakOutAgainstRacism. The movement gained momentum, with millions sharing their stories and demanding change. To our viewers, we implore you, do not let this moment pass without action. Racism, in all its forms, thrives in silence. It's not enough to be non-racist, we must be actively anti-racist. Speak out when you witness discrimination, even if it occurs in places of power and prestige. Challenge your own biases and educate those around you. Remember, change begins with each one of us. Angela Bassett's response to this incident serves as a masterclass in dignity and strength. Her composure in the face of such blatant disrespect not only exposed the ugliness of racism but also became a catalyst for change. In the aftermath, Buckingham Palace announced a series of diversity and inclusion initiatives, including mandatory sensitivity training for all staff and a review of hiring practices to ensure greater representation. But perhaps the most powerful outcome was the ripple effect it created. Other prestigious institutions around the world began to examine their own practices and policies. Museums, universities, and government bodies initiated reviews of their diversity and inclusion measures. The incident at Buckingham Palace became a wake-up call, reminding the world that no one, regardless of their status or position, is above the law or exempt from basic human decency. As we reflect on this event, let us remember that true change requires ongoing effort and vigilance. It's not enough to react to incidents of racism, we must proactively work to create a society where such incidents are unthinkable. Angela Bassett's experience reminds us that even in the face of adversity, maintaining one's dignity and standing up for what's right can spark a movement. In closing, let this incident serve as both a warning and an inspiration. A warning that racism can lurk in even the most unexpected places, and an inspiration that one person's courage can ignite a global call for change. As Angela Bassett herself said, this is an opportunity for real change, and I intend to be part of that change. Let us all heed that call and be part of the change we wish to see in the world. If you enjoy this beautiful story, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more of this gripping story.